Hi everyone. I'm so glad you're here. If you enjoy stories with heart and meaning, don't forget to subscribe for more. Nina was 14 years old and used to be the kind of girl who smiled at everything. She smiled when birds chirped. She smiled when the sun came through her window in the morning. She even smiled when her socks didn't match. But lately, her smile had slowly faded. She didn't feel like laughing anymore. She stopped painting. She stopped talking at school. Even her favorite songs sounded like noise. Her mom asked, "Are you okay?" She nodded. But inside, she wasn't sure. Nina didn't know what had changed. Maybe it was because her best friend moved away. Maybe it was because she failed a math test. Maybe it was just everything at once. One afternoon, while walking home, she passed a narrow alley she had never noticed before. There, sitting at a small wooden table under a yellow umbrella, was an old lady with white hair and gentle eyes. A sign beside her read, "Free cups of sunshine. One per heart. No rush." Nina blinked, a little confused. "What's a cup of sunshine?" she asked softly. The lady smiled. "Come sit. I think your heart needs one." Part 2. The first sip. Nina slowly sat down across from the old lady, unsure what to expect. The lady opened a tiny yellow teapot and poured warm tea into a delicate white cup. "Here you go, dear," she said. "One cup of sunshine." Nina smiled politely, just a little, and took the cup in her hands. It was warm. It smelled like orange peels, honey, and something like sunshine on clean laundry. She took a small sip. The tea wasn't just tasty. It was comforting, like being wrapped in a soft blanket after a cold, hard day, like a hug you forgot you needed. Her eyes widened. She looked at the lady. "What is this?" she whispered. The lady chuckled. "It's kindness. And quiet. And a little bit of lemon zest. But mostly," she said, "it's a reminder." "Of what?" "That you are still alive. That even when things feel heavy, there is still softness in the world. And that your light isn't gone. It's just resting." Nina felt something strange in her eyes, not tears of sadness, but the kind that come when you finally feel seen. She held the warm cup close, looked up at the sky, and for the first time in weeks, she smiled. Part 3. Passing the warmth on. After that day, Nina walked home the same way, always passing the little alley. And every time, the old lady was there. She never said much. Just poured Nina her cup of sunshine, smiled, and let her sit in peace. Day by day, Nina began to feel lighter. She started humming again. She painted a little flower on her math notebook. She even laughed out loud when she saw a cat try to chase a butterfly and fall into a bush. But something new started growing in her. 2. A desire to give. One morning, instead of heading straight to the alley, Nina stopped by the school garden. She picked 3 little yellow daisies and carried them carefully to class. She placed one on her teacher's desk. She gave one to the girl who always sat alone at lunch. And she left one in the locker of a classmate who had been crying last week. She didn't say a word, just smiled and walked away. That afternoon, when she returned to the alley, the old lady was waiting with a grin. "You brought sunshine today," she said. Nina blinked. "How do you know?" "Because I could feel it. Sunshine is like that, when you share it. It doesn't get smaller. It grows. Nina looked at her reflection in the tea. She didn't look different on the outside. But inside, her heart felt like it was glowing again. And this time, she wasn't just drinking the sunshine. She was becoming it. Part 4. A table of her own. A few months passed. The season changed. Flowers returned to the hills. So did the birdsong. And so did Nina's laughter. But one day, the yellow umbrella was gone. The old lady's table was empty. Nina waited the next day. And the day after that. But the alley stayed quiet. She felt a little sad, but not lost. The warmth the lady gave her hadn't faded. It had rooted itself inside her. So Nina did something brave. She found an old table in her school's storeroom, painted it soft yellow, set it up under a shady tree outside the school gate, and made a small handwritten sign. Free cups of sunshine. One per heart. No rush. She brought a thermos of warm tea. Sometimes, she added orange peel. Sometimes, mint leaves or a splash of honey. But the tea wasn't the most important part. It was the smile she gave with it, the time she offered, and the quiet space for anyone who needed to feel seen, safe, or simply, not alone. One by one, others joined her. A boy who used to sit in silence began bringing tiny jokes on paper slips. A shy girl shared drawings of the sky. A teacher dropped off cookies. The table grew into something more. A place where sadness didn't have to hide. Where people were reminded, you are still here. You still matter. And your light is still inside you, just resting. Not gone. The end. Moral of the story. Real happiness doesn't always come from fixing everything. Sometimes, it comes from being gentle with yourself, and sharing even the smallest bit of light you have. Because joy shared is joy multiplied. Thank you so much for listening. If this story touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Until next time, keep dreaming, and never stop noticing the beauty around you.